CBS put out an article titled What All 30 MLB Teams Should Be Thankful For. We don't have time to run through all 30 of them, and some of them I think are more notable than others. So we will pick out a few of our favorites. And KP, you can take the rock first and pick out some favorites from that list. What do you like?
Okay. Yeah, I wrote two down here, and I kind of wanted to give at least one team that we don't spend a lot of time talking about, team that I played for, kind of near and dear to my heart. I'm going to go with the Angels and Joe Adell's kind of breakout season in terms of power. He did hit 37 homers. The on base percentage, which I know a thing or two about having a low one, was still 293. But when I was with him in 23, he talked about his potential of being this 30, 40 home run type of guy. And at that time, I think his career high was maybe even under 20 at the time. And, as a guy who's been in the game, I'm like, it's kind of disrespectful for you to talk about you being this elite power hitter when you haven't shown it yet. And trust me, this guy puts on one of the best BPs I've ever seen, but I know how important BP is in terms of actually showing power in the game. So good for Joe for believing in himself and actually going out and putting his money where his mouth is and hitting 37 homers. Now that he's proven he has, 35, 40 homer potential, I think he has to spend a little bit more time being a little bit more selective at the plate in order to really take that next step. And he did a decent job of, switching from right field to center field. I think he's part of kind of that young core of the future of the Angels. And he's still young. He's been in the league for, 4 years now, and he's still, I think, 25 years old. So he's part of the future there. And then the second one that stood out to me, which I thought was kind of a funny headline, was the Baltimore Orioles. And it just said, season's over. We're thankful that it's over. And I think that team's just got too much talent to be bottom of the barrel of the AL East. I know it's a very competitive division, but they got so much young talent. They got a new manager there that's coming in. Hopefully he can kind of turn that ship around. And I love the new ownership group there. It feels like they have this kind of passion like a Steve Cohen has, that this isn't about making money for them. This is about putting a winner on the field. And I think they're going to go out and spend some money to add to this already exciting young core of guys. But I thought it was a kind of a clever sort of what they're thankful for, just that the season was over.
That was one of the more crafty answers, and it was on point. You're right. Yeah, there's some core players there to be excited about, and there's a pitching staff that needs a lot of work. And there's a lot of time this offseason to get that done. I like those two. Kratz, do you have 2, 3, whatever? I've got like 10 bolded, so whatever you don't pick, I'll probably rapid fire through the rest of them.
My two are what they said about the Brewers. Bryce Turang, it's not even a coming out year because he was a Platinum Glove winner, all that stuff, but it was more of like a coming out month when he hit, I think it was like 14 home runs in August. Like, this is a guy, when you look at him, you're like, I'm not sure he plays on the team. Like, he's a skinny, wiry type of player that has kind of emerged from the first rounder that he was back in 2017 or 18. But he kind of encapsulates what the Brewers are. It's a bunch of dudes that do what they do successfully for 162 games. So I love that headline. And I think Thanksgiving is always a time when, hopefully, when I sit around the table with my family, my dad is always like, hey, I'd like, before we eat, everybody say what they're really thankful for. And sometimes it's things that are brought up that, are like monumental for this year or whatever, or things that we've kind of missed other years, but we take it for granted. And then at Thanksgiving, you're thankful for it. That's why I picked the New York Yankees. They have the best hitter on the planet. Shohei Ohtani is still the best player. Juan Soto is still awesome. Aaron Judge is the best hitter on the planet, and I think he is forgotten. So at Thanksgiving, why not give a little bit more thanks for the things that maybe you're not really that thankful for throughout the year as much as you should be thankful. You take it for granted, and you can't take Aaron Judge for granted.
Good call. Yeah, stuff that eventually gets into expectation status, but you still need to make sure you're grateful for it because eventually it won't be there anymore. Every career comes to an end. I'll add a few more, some quick hitters. I mean, I think we have to mention the Dodgers, back-to-back titles. You don't see that very often, folks. quarter century. So I think Dodger fans are pretty appreciative of what they've gotten here the last couple years. I think many of them didn't expect to win the World Series last year, especially one loss away from elimination against the Padres. And then this year, there were plenty of moments where they probably thought, I don't know. It was not a cakewalk in the World Series for them, and they pulled it off. Next one here on my list, KP, I think you'd like this one. A 30-homer season from a San Francisco Giant player. Willie Adames pulled it off, and he's a guy they spent a lot of money on. The reason why it stands out is he was the first one to pull it off. It's 2025 right now. Since 2004, Barry Bonds. That's crazy how long they went without a 30-homer season. Not a 40, not a 50, a 30-homer season. And Adames was catching a lot of crap in the beginning of the season because he had a slow start. He ended up having a pretty nice year for them.
Yeah, I looked at that one too. I was going to touch that one too. Obviously, a place I played too, and I think when I got traded over there was also even a small gap from maybe the last time that Barry had played to even a 20 home run hitter that played the outfield, and I was the first guy to do that. And hitting 20 home runs is not like a great feat. It was a great feat for me, but the fact that no one had hit 30 home runs, and I know it's not the best ballpark to hit in, but I think it's good that someone was able to do it because it's been a long time since Barry did it. But I think it's also good that Willie Adames was the guy to do it because they went out and spent a lot of money on him. Some people would say maybe they overspent on him, but he got up to a slow start, but he is such a lovable guy. He's a leader. He's a great shortstop. And for him to be the first guy in, over 20 years to go out and hit 30 home runs, money well spent by the San Francisco Giants. And hopefully that kind of leads to some more spending.
Kratz, we picked you to talk about MeUndies, not just because they're ridiculously comfortable, but also because they are very festive. When the holiday season hits, you go on the website and there are just so many more designs to check out. And they just scream Erik Kratz getting little matching sets with everybody that he knows.
You know what? They're called MeUndies, not YouUndies. So you go in and you say, this one's for me. This set is for me. This is what is good for me. Not YouUndies, MeUndies. A lot of different ones to choose from.
I'm so confused, but what I do know is that you can knock out all of your holiday gifting needs today with MeUndies, and to get the exclusive holiday deals up to 50% off, MeUndies.com/foul. Enter promo code FOUL. That's MeUndies.com/FOUL. Promo code is FOUL for up to 50% off. Matching holiday prints with your person? You can't beat that.
Next up, Seattle, Cal Raleigh. 60 homers, sets a record for catchers, for switch hitters, for any Mariners player in a single season, and brought the team pretty damn far in the postseason too, Kratz. I mean, we're probably never going to see something like that again from a home run perspective. Chances, let's just say in the next 20 years that a catcher hits 60 or more homers, not high.
I'll take the under. I mean, if it's set at 0.5 times it happens, I'll take the under. It is so crazy what he did. Not saying he should be the MVP, but just saying what he did. And then he never faded. Yes, his batting average faded a little bit, but his home runs, I think he had 5 total in the postseason. And he brought his team pretty much as close as you can get to going all the way. So I think it's something that I'm glad I got to watch it. I'm glad we got to chronicle it this year on this show. And man, you don't know what he's going to do next year, but if he hits 48 homers, are people going to be like, oh, he's regressing? It's like, that's a good regression year if he hits 48 pumps.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. It reminds me of the year. That would still be the record. It reminds me of the year I was with Matt Olson when he hit the 54 homers, the all-time record for the Atlanta Braves. And it seemed like it was so easy for him to do. And then the following year, I think he came back and hit like 40 homers. And it's like, no, it's this crazy regression. It's like, no, just what he did was so special in that year. And it's going to be so tough because, to your point, Kratz, he's proven that he has legitimate power, that he's an MVP type of player. But the realistic chances of him even hitting 50 homers to follow up the year he had next year is going to be so rare, so slim that he does that whatever he does is going to seem like he took a major step back, but really it's just going to show how historic of a year that he really did have.
3 more. I'll let you comment on the last one here. Geraldo Perdomo's breakout, a 7-win season. wins above replacement wise. He finished in 4th place in NL MVP. I don't think anybody had him as a top 5 finisher in MVP. That was a breakout year. He adds to the core of Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte if he sticks around. Cleveland with the greatest comeback ever to win a division from down 15 and a half games and also erasing an 11-game deficit in September. And lastly, I'll let you guys comment with a trivia answer if you have it. Tarik Skubal winning back-to-back Cy Young awards. We're going over reasons to be thankful for teams. Who are the only 2 pitchers to win 3 straight Cy Young awards?
Randy Johnson.
Yes.
I'd say Roger Clemens.
Not
Roger Clemens
not
or
3 in a
Greg
row.
Maddux would have been my second guess.
Maddox is the other
Not
one.
Roger
Good job,
Clemens.
guys. Not Clemens 3 in a row, at least. I got to look at when, but not 3 in a row. I mean, maybe 2 in a row, but not 3 in a row, according to this article. So Tarik Skubal has a chance to do it in what would be his free agent season. Actually, one more bonus one on the way out. Blue Jays for signing Vladdy Jr. to 500 mil KP. Otherwise, we would be talking about him all off season long, coming off a ridiculous postseason performance. If anything changed and he ended up playing in the postseason like he did, we would be like, oh, wow, this is going to bring a lot of heat on the Jays to try and keep him. And instead, they got it done in spring training.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's a kind of, playbook for maybe like the Detroit Tigers to not let Tarik Skubal walk. Maybe you have to, quote unquote, overpay a little bit to keep your guy there. But like you said, I mean, if the Blue Jays did not sign him, the type of season he had, and more importantly, the type of postseason he had, putting that team on his back, arguably being the best player on the field every time he stepped on the field, he would be all we would be talking about in free agency right now. So good for the Blue Jays to, quote unquote, overspend a little bit to keep their guy there. Hopefully some other teams kind of follow that kind of playbook the Blue Jays put out there.